Today it is like 19 degrees, minus 7 Celsius up here. So I thought it was like a beautiful, and there was no wind, so it's a beautiful day to kind of go over what I wear. And it really doesn't matter whether I'm on the homestead or I'm out in the bush, because I've been basically camping for the last 6 years. So if you watch my videos, you'll see what I wear doesn't change a whole heck of a lot, right? So we're gonna go over that. Yeah, sun's going down, so temperature's gonna be dropping with it, as we do this video. So who knows, it might be like 10 by the time we get done. Anyway, biggest thing about up here, or actually anywhere where you're gonna get where it's gonna get cold. I am in the Matanuska Valley. This is subarctic, and yeah, it gets cold here. So anyway, the cold isn't the bad thing. It's the bloody wind. The wind is the killer. It'll kill you. It'll kill you in a heartbeat, right? So lots of videos on this thing. Layering is absolute must, right? So and layering doesn't just include what you wear on your body, right? So it includes your hands and your feet and your bloody head too, right, up here. So I'm going to start from the parts that get the coldest for me, and the hardest parts I have trouble keeping warm, which is my hands and my feet, and then I'll get on to the other things. And I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna apologize right now if I get the sniffles, because it's pretty cold right now, actually. So a fella in my last video made a comment. It's like he's gonna subscribe if I'd get a box of Kleenex, right? What's that? Well, that was pretty funny, but I haven't made it into town, so there's no Kleenex. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm going to start with actually my hands are probably the hardest part to keep warm, and especially so like this finger right here. I got stabbed by a rockfish when I was working on the docks in Homer, and it just decayed, and so the circulation in that finger it gets cold really easy, really quick. So that's always been a challenge for me, is just keep my hands warm. And if you're out, and if you've ever tried to strike a fire when your hands are cold and can't move, it is a challenge. So good gloves and good mittens are an absolute must, right? So these here are the best gloves that I have found. They're made by Superior Glove out of Canada. Oh, and by the way, yes, I'm not getting paid for any of this stuff, right? So I'm just telling you what I've found that works for me. So this is Superior Glove out of Canada. You can see right there, it says like minus 30 Celsius on it. Well, it don't go down to minus 30. It's like minus 10. I'm switching into mittens, right? So, but these are awesome gloves. They've been the best gloves I have ever found, right? And a really decent price, which is kind of important to me, right? So those are that. But I'll switch up into mittens when it's getting cold and when the wind is blowing. So these are all old Army surpluses. They're probably about as old as I am, I think. And they do a bang up job of keeping your hands warm now. So the old I was issued these kind of mittens when I was in the service too, right? But the old ones that get in the service, they have a wool liner that's just a mitten, but trying to do things in mittens is just horrible. And as you pull your mitten off, right, you still want to have some sort of dexterity. So I don't use the old wool liners that come with these old mittens, right? So I've got a wool blend. It's actually 2 layers glove that I stick in. So when I got this puppy on, it's bloody warm, but trying to strike a fire with a mitten on is a bit of a challenge too, right? So I take that off, and it's still, my hand is still got some layering on it, and it stays warm. So there's those. So yeah, the feet. Feet are also a challenge. I really like pack boots, and a tall pack boot. So these fellas, I gotta wear these nearly every day, but up here, and they got wool felt lining. These are about 6 there. Both of these. I got these fellas, and I've been wearing these fellas for years now too. But both of them have wool felt liners. These fellas are actually warmer than these guys. These are whites out of Spokane, Washington. These are lacrosse, and I'm assuming they're made in Wisconsin, but I don't know, right? These are definitely warmer, but they don't fit in my ski bindings, right? Where these guys do. So I like the 16-inch boot, so it keeps your lower leg, the blood warm in your lower leg, and I'm not a fan of what are they called? Gaiters. I'm not like. So these take care of that, right? So they're a lot warmer than a boot with the gaiter on too. So yeah, these are pretty awesome. So, but when I'm out in camp, right, out in the bush, I always bring along something to change into when I'm at the end of the day, because you need to pull those liners out. You need to get those boots dry, because you're sweating, and your feet sweating, and I don't care what they do, once they're wet, they stay wet. So you got to be able to pull those liners out and dry out, not just the liners, but the boot themselves, right? So so you need something to change into, right? And for years and years and years, look here at these old center seam moccasins that I made 40 years ago. They've been with me for about 40 years now, and it's like, well, they're about ready to give up the ghost. So I had to find it, and they're bloody great out in camp. But I started going like, oh man, I gotta find another thing. So I'm trying these guys out. These are the famous Alaskan sneakers, right? They're extra toughs, right? But these are the extra tough legacies. So they're lined, and they lace up, and they're not the tall iconic Alaskan brown boot that everybody up here wears. So I'll be taking those out next time I go out in the bush and try them out. And they work pretty good in and of themselves down to about the low teens and stuff. I've worn them out, and then they did pretty good. So I'm sure they'll do pretty good. It's just carrying that extra bulk and stuff around sometimes is a bit of a challenge. But I always have, when I go out too, I always have insoles that I made. These are sheepskin insoles, and then I put some rubber cement on them and put some sort of backing on it. So these guys got sheepskin liners inside, or insoles inside of these guys. And I always take an extra pair too, because these get soaked, and so it's good to to take those other insoles out, get them dried out, and then replace them the next day with something warm or clean or dry. Excuse me. So there's that. There's hands and feet, head. I'm kind of fond of my Akubra, right? So I kind of wear it most of the time when I'm out, and when it gets to be about 10 and or lower, or the wind's blowing, I'll switch to a trapper's hat. Yeah, no, these are the greatest. I'm not a huge beanie fan. Just like, because I end up usually sleeping and with this thing on my head, so I can tie this thing down, buckle her up, and it's not moving off my head where a beanie kind of goes all over the place. But it's a hell of a lot warmer than a beanie anyway. So when it's terrible, right, and blowing like crazy, and yeah, you will always notice me in every single video I got a silk scarf. This is a silk scarf, right? So I can, right, I lie down that bugger on and lock her up, and my face gets pretty well protected, right? There we go. So I can sleep like this right here. And silk, actually the silk is an amazing fabric too, right? So you hear about wool, but merino wool, and it is awesome. Merino wool is awesome, and most of the stuff I got is merino or kiwi wool. But silk is awesome too, and it tends to dry out faster than wool. So I love silk as well as I do merino wool. So actually, my long johns that I have on right now, they are actually a pretty lightweight silk right now, and they're just awesome. I just love them. Right, the other ones are like we're going down the bottom on there. I got my heavyweight wool. These are heavyweight merino wool, and where these buggers go out there too, right? So I usually have 2 pair, and the great thing about silk and wool is that if you're wearing like synthetics, right, and you're out a few days, right, pretty soon you're smelling like a herd of goats, and you can't even tolerate yourself. So so the antimicrobial, bacterial properties of silk and wool, right, you can wear them. I wear mine. I wear these layers like days, months on end sometimes, right? Because it's like living off grid, sometimes washing in the winter can be a little tough, right? So yep, I'm a big fan of merino wool and silk as well. And not a big fan of polyester and nylon and all that other stuff too. And then the good thing that goes for the mid layers too. So right now I have 2 base layers on. They're both wool, and then I have this mid layer on, which I absolutely love, which is actually about 2 layers as well. So this is made by Westridge in New Zealand. It's quite a neat little deal. So it's merino. It's got a merino liner and there's Cordale wool. Let's see if I can see. Well, I see to show you. There's like, cause I've been wearing this thing for like 2 years straight. There's a merino in there, and this Cordale on the outside, which is harder wearing wool. So yeah, this is like the best bloody jersey I've ever worn, and they sent it to me. So I guess they did sponsor me, right? So I thought I was going to get on season 10 of Alone at one point in time, and my friends in New Zealand all went like, you know what, you need some help, mate. So so they sent me this jersey, right? And it is just phenomenal. It beats any other wool sweater or jersey I've ever had. So I got and it's hooded. And it's hooded, and its hood has got 2 layers on it too. So it's just bloody awesome. The bad thing about it is if the wind's blowing, it kind of goes, yeah, and it's like single digits or lower, sub-zero. The wind will blow right through it. But so when that happens, we'll switch to my Swan Dry. This is a Swan Dry. It's made in New Zealand too. So this is a Extreme Ranger shirt. This is a hard wearing bugger. I've had this thing for two years as well, and so if you don't see in my videos, I'm not wearing my Westridge. I'm wearing this Swanee shirt. The bad thing about the Swanee thing is the liner is something synthetic, and so it's pretty easy to get sweaty in it, and it doesn't dry out very fast, which causes me great annoyance and displeasure sometimes. But I kind of save it for when it's single digits or lower, and the wind's howling, right? So it brings like, okay, so I don't wear much high-tech stuff. I don't like it in the brush. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like the way it feels. And that's just me. I know there's a lot of good stuff out there, but for me, it's basically wool, silk, and like this vest. This vest is oilskin, right? Bloody awesome, and it's wool lined as well. The pockets are just awesome. This is from Swan Dry as well, down in New Zealand. Oh, this thing is just I wear it all year round. I've worn this thing every day for 2 years straight, and it is just awesome. Love everything about it is, I love it. Right, so I have reproofed it, so I put the wax and stuff on it. Last spring, after wearing it for quite some time, right? So, and it's just holding up. It's just tough, and it's just breaks the wind too, and gives you that an extra layer, but you've got movement, right? So a lot of folks up here they like the insulated coveralls, right? But I can't stand them. It's just like bulky. I just walking around it's like in a moon suit or something. I just like I don't know. No thanks. I like being able to move, right? So I do have a pair. I've tried them. It's like nah. I just soon not. So upstairs, I got right now. I've got my 2 base layers of wool, merino wool, and I've got two more layers with this jersey. And I've got my my vest, right? My oilskin vest, and I pretty much I'll wear this down to pretty low temperatures, so like 0. I'm fine with it out there, and I may even end up shedding like the vest if I'm out skiing and pulling a sled or whatever, right? So, or snowshoeing. But when I get to camp, I'll throw over the top sometimes. Another Swan Dry. It's a bush shirt. So I'll take that one. Oh, I've had this fella for 5 years now, I guess. And the wind, the weave on this shirt is such that the wind doesn't really go through it much at all. So this is a great one, and yeah, the hood. So I know Boreal makes an anorak that looked really pretty interesting to me. So it's like this guy, and this guy's got pockets, so that's always nice. But the old iconic Kiwi bush shirt, the old Swan Dry here. Oh, hey, this fella's been around for quite a while. So it's that really tight weave wool, and then it's got wool lining inside of it too. I've got this, oh man, this fella's been around for a long time. But I don't, it doesn't have any pockets other than this pocket up here. It's kind of hard to stick your hands there, put tinder stuff whenever you're going out and you're picking up stuff on the way, right? And I just fill my pockets with stuff like that. So, so I like the idea that boreal anorak has a big pocket pouch, whatever thing on the front, and that's that's about the only thing bad I really have to say about the old kiwi bush shirt, right? It's pretty awesome. It blocks the wind pretty dang good too, right? So that covers pretty much. We're upstairs, right? So downstairs, I would love to have a pair of wool pants. I don't have any. They kind of tend to be more expensive than this, or more money than this cowboy makes sometimes. But I wear these Carhartts. They're hard wearing and it's kind of a duct, right? And then a wool underneath, or silk underneath, and then you find it like these oilskin leggings. Bloody awesome. Breaks the wind awesome. Keeps the rain and the moisture out. I love these things. These are from Filson, which is like, Filson makes some pretty good gear. It's pretty bloody spendy, but you're paying for a name. But these guys, I can afford these guys. So I've worn these things for about 5 years now, and they're just holding up good. I've reproofed these guys like twice. Which brings me to another point. So before I head out into the bush, right, I usually, like the day before, I'll take everything that I own, gloves, anything that's leather. These fellas, these for the tops, and those, I'll take and I'll treat them with a beeswax, some sort of beeswax base like snow seal or mink oil, or I used to, in the old days when I was running the bush all the time and always out there, I just used tallow, rendered fat from like deer or whatever, and I'd rub it in there. It's like, it keeps them soft and keeps them going. What is next? I got yes, this is neckerchief, right? Wild rag. This is the silk. This is identical to the one I wear. I got it around my neck right now. I love silk. It dries out really fast, and it's warm, and tough. It's tough. So yeah, you'll always see me wearing a wild rag, a silk wild rag. The next is like, especially this time of year, if you're heading out into the bush or out, and it's maybe even true down in the lesser 48, when that sun is hitting that snow, right? You gotta make sure you better have some sunglasses on, right, or with you. I did one video where I for the alone casting, right, and the sunglasses weren't allowed, so I had to make some. I made some out of birch bark, is some more of a indigenous type of a snow goggle out of birch bark. But that's it, and there are times, right, if the wind is howling, I will take some of these, right? Yeah, God, it's good and nice to be able to see where you're going. Sometimes when the wind is howling, it's blowing the snow or the sun is low in the sky and just blasting you right in the eyeball. So, yeah, but I think that pretty much covers everything. If Mimi goes out with me, I take a coat. She gets a coat too. She can bring her coat, and then the Alaskan sled dog thing. Right, these go on her feet. Right, she's not an Alaskan dog. She's a working dog. Come here, Mimi. So yeah, good girl. Right, she loves to go out with me. So yeah, she likes to chase moose. Unfortunately, that's not a good idea. Right. So anyway, yep. Please leave any comments, ask any questions. Don't. A lot of the time the weather's bad here, so I don't have a whole lot to do other than to answer these comments or questions or things like that. So yep. Again, please subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and we'll talk to you later, mate. Bloody hell, if I didn't forget, so there's a lot of ground to be covered, right? And I bloody forgot to talk about socks. That's that. And well, it's dropped like 5 degrees since I just did that. The main part of the video, which was just a few minutes ago, actually. So we're at like -9 Celsius, 9.5 Celsius, something like that. It's like 14, 15. But anyway, socks, wool socks are an absolute must. They just like, and you're going out, you need to have a couple pairs, definitely. So there's nothing like I've tried alpaca socks, and they're pretty warm, but they're not very durable in my experience. So for me, like, gear is it's got to be durable. It's got to last, right? It then lasts years, right? So a lot of the synthetic things that I have tried some of them, and they just don't last, right? So it's like I'm by a fire every single day, every day. It's like little sparks get on them, and oh, that synthetic shit just melts away, right? And then you got a big hole, and you can patch it up with like duct tape or whatever, but it's like, and but wool and silk, it doesn't. Yeah, they're non-flammable, and they're just awesome. So anyway, socks, yes, wool socks. And I forgot to mention that when your boots, right, you gotta make sure that your boots are actually, these are like 11s, right? But I normally wear like 9.5. So you gotta have some room. You gotta have room in there, right? So if it gets tight, you just the trapped air. There's no trapped air really. So you need oversized boots. Wool socks are a must, right? And if you're going out in the bush, right, you need a couple pairs, right? And I like the two brands that I use mostly are Darn Toughs out of Vermont, and Fox Rivers. Both of them are really good, but anyway, sorry about that. I needed to put that in the first part. Oh well, this is like, there's like just too much to think about, and too much to go over, right? So anyway, I hope you find this addendum helpful, right? We'll talk to you later, mate.